with that said, I have a couple questions, and if the attendees have questions they want to pose, then please post them to the chat. So first question, this is probably for Marc. The P7000, P9000 are still available. How do they fit into the scheme of things now that the 9570 and 7570 are available?
Well, there's still a place for it because, we have two editions with the 7000, 9000. We have the commercial edition and we have the standard edition. So if you're doing traditional photography and you want to stick with the standard edition, or you're doing proofing specifically, you would venture over to the commercial edition. So we have those options. And of course, the price point is a little bit lower. So they do still fit in. We're not going to end of life them or anything like that as of now. So they're currently in the lineup. I think that they have definitely a place in our product line. So yeah, you just have to make the right decision for the type of work that you want to do and what you're used to doing, and choose accordingly. Of course,
yeah,
that's why they would talk to you, right, Clark? I mean, that's why you would kind of point them out to the various feature set one has versus the other.
And like the corresponding printer, the P7000 still is a few $100s less expensive than the 7570. So that's a factor. But I have to say, from Spectraflow's perspective, all these usability enhancements make us generally recommend the 7570 at this point.
So Clark, there's a question that says, does the new printer use the same Fiery software as the P9000? And the answer is yes. Fiery's developed drivers for our latest generation P7570 and P9570, our P20000. So for sure, I was just using it last night, actually running a test. So
with the Bullet, some folks who might have a legacy V6 Fiery setup, we're sort of having a big push to upgrade all the last V6 Firies to support macOS Catalina, which is required. Mojave accidentally supported V6. It sort of snuck in there, but wasn't officially supported. But now Catalina seems to break it pretty thoroughly. So V7 is required. And like Marc said, if you had V7, I touched on this too. It was just a dot upgrade to V7, to your V7, and we were off and running with the new printer. So EFI and Epson have been working very closely together. Yes. There was a little bit of a road bump with the P series printers where, not sure anyone took responsibility for this, but the exact print mode we needed to use on the P7000 was not implemented for enhanced matte. So we've been using the archival matte media type as a workaround, which works fine. It's the same paper in Europe, but it's back. Enhanced matte is now the media type we use in the 7570, and it was just couldn't have asked for it to be more smooth and timely. It works great, and so if you have Fiery V7, the new printers are supported just the same way as the old ones.
Right. And any new changes, we're always in constant interaction with our RIP partners. We call them ISVs. And so, yeah, we're constantly making sure that they have all of the latest information that they need in order to interface with our driver or utilize their own, modules so that everything fits in and works properly.
All right, Marc, this is probably another question more directed at you, which is, when is Epson going to announce the 17-inch version of this series of printers to replace the P5000?
So meaning when is there going to be a P5000 upgrade? Yeah, right now, I don't have any information on that now, but we have a product roadmap and we're always in development. We're always listening to our end users and trying to figure out what next product to build. So, that's something that we'll always continuously do. Right now, the P5000 is a very solid and stable product, and people seem to appreciate its ability to be a true production machine at 17 inches, and it's really great for proofing and for production photos. So yeah, right now we're very happy with with its product life so far.
One thing that's interesting about the 7570, 9570 not coming in a 17-inch model is that it sort of, it leads to a nice conversation around upgrading. from the 17-inch desktop model to the floor standing 24-inch. So the 7570 runs 17-inch paper just fine. It also has this kind of more industrial build quality, and the Spectroproofer, it doesn't get involved in the delivery of each print the way the 17-inch Spectro does. Yep. So it has, in my experience, the 17-inch can sometimes run into sort of duty cycle issues at the end of its life. We've seen Spectros have to be retired, 3 years in, or a little sooner. So, the 24-inch is just, a workhorse. And so if you're running 17, if you're thinking about a new fleet to replace P5000s, P9000s, we would probably say, well, and we've seen, some folks do this already, get 9570s and 7570s, even if you're going to run 17-inch paper on the 7570, it's just a more robust machine. As long as you're not running cut sheet, which I think there's one use case for cut sheet. So, you know who you are, you love that cut sheet. That P5000 is great for that use case. But for roll printing, the 7570, we would sort of lean in that direction.
But what I'll add to that though is that if you do print cut sheet, the 7570, 9570, one of the things that we redid is we redid our how easy it is to load a cut sheet. And quite frankly, it's one of the things in my testing, I do often, because it's really easy just to, matter of fact, let's see if we can just, show you. What we did is we changed this mechanism here. It's a little door. It's nice and enclosed. You open the door and you can just easily feed, of course, the roll has to be unloaded, but you can easily load a sheet in really, really fast and be done with it. So I know this doesn't seem like it's a sheet printer, but actually it works pretty well as a sheet printer. And it's something that as a functionality goes, is quite easy to use and much improved over our previous generation. And it's something to be considered for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just can't load a stack, right? I mean, the 17-inch, you can put a stack of sheets. If you've got a one-off that you need to run, you can load. You could be up and loaded in seconds, and it's great. It's quick and easy.
I'll just add one thing to what you guys are saying as well. It's not uncommon for us to have clients who have a mixed fleet of 17, 24, 44-inch printers, and if you consolidate to like 24, 44. Then your ink management gets simplified as well, because the 24 and the 44-inch printers use the same inks. So it's just
that's also a very good point, Clark. Exactly.
Another benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next question. How often do I need to run a nozzle check on this new printer as compared to my P7000s, P9000s?
Nozzle check, it's one of those things that everyone has their habit, everyone has their interval. My personal experience is that, I want to do a nozzle check like every couple of days. And then you start building a confidence level that it's clean, it's clear. So if I were to give you advice, I'd probably say, to do it, how about every 3 days at the very minimum, once a week. If you can do it a couple times a week, that would be great. Do you have to do it daily? No. Should you wait 3 weeks? Probably not. It's just good from a confidence point of view that you just walk up to it, do a quick nozzle check, and I mean, it takes no time, because really you want these printers to be idle. You don't want to turn them off. And I'm sure you guys have talked about the ability to leave it on, don't shut it off, because the print head will go into its capping station. It'll basically enclose the print head to keep the ink at a viscosity that's ready for printing at a moment's notice. And so it's that ability to keep the print head in this nice state, at the right viscosity. It's protecting the print path from outside dust, and then that contributes to the ability to walk up to it, do a nozzle check, see that it's printing just fine, put it down, and move on with your day. Also, what's nice about doing it more often too is that someone else in your work group, if they want to, and if you leave it by the printer, which is why it's only a small area, you almost keep like a flip book, right? And that kind of shows you the time frame of when the last, because we date it every single time it prints. So you kind of know, when the last time it was done. So yeah, I would say probably a couple times a week, at least once a week, and go from there. And everybody has their opinion on this. So
I'll share mine then in that case, because we sort of have our best practices that we recommend.
yeah, there you go.
If I was in charge of your fleet of printers and telling people what to do, I would say come in Monday morning, run a manual cleaning on all channels, make sure that your nozzle pattern looks good, and then before you leave for the weekend, do a nozzle check, right? And make sure that you don't go into the weekend with clogged nozzles. The nice thing with these automatic nozzle clog detection technologies is that the printer pretty much takes care of itself. Marc said the word confidence. You build confidence in that being true. You should still check, so that you don't come back to a rude awakening on Monday. One of the other things that happens over the weekend is, any gas bubbles, these nitrogen micro bubbles build up in the ink system and sort of collect at the print head. So you wind up with a false clog detection or false breaks in the pattern. So that Monday morning cleaning gets everything flushed out. And there's also a 180-day powerful cleaning that Epson recommends. And maybe Marc, I don't know, is the 9570 going to tell me 6 months in to do that powerful cleaning like the P5000, or is that do you know if that's built into the firmware on these two new printers?
Say that question one more time. Sorry, I was reading one of the questions in the Q&A.
Yeah, sorry. The P5000 gives you a message on the panel after 180 days to do an administrative power cleaning. I wonder if these printers are going to give that message as well. It's a good practice that we sort of apply to any printer, even if it doesn't give the message, because it does kind of lead to more reliability and less false nozzle breaks.
So yes, it does. So then we have also another question here. It says, is there a possible way to specify the specific inks that are used to print a spot color using the new printer? No, currently there's not. All of that is based upon the formula for printing a particular color is based upon all the color management settings that are set in the RIP. But yeah, you don't have the independent control like that. So that's something you have to control within the RIP. And you don't need it too, by the way. The lookup tables that's in the ICC profile and the color management settings that are set within the RIP are going to map the ink appropriately to get the color that you need. And it's quite amazing science, by the way.
Yeah. One other question, and we're getting near the end here, I think, is do my existing spectroproofers work on these new printers?
Yes. Now, the only thing you'll have to do is change out the spectroproofer head. So if you have a previous generation spectroproofer hardware casing and you install it on this new printer, you'll have to go from what's called the ILS-20 to the ILS-30. So we sell that as an independent, as a standalone product that you just switch out and then you're good to go. So we've made these spectroproofers to kind of grow with our product line.
And most folks are already running ILS-30 spectroproofers, so there would be a chance of migrating. You just take it off, move the rails, and move it over. One thing that Spectraflow is recommending, which is sort of new with the P9000, is keeping the spectroproofers under warranty along with the printer. So if you do have, say a 5-year-old spectroproofer that is, being retired along with a 5-year-old P9000, we'd probably recommend getting a new one and putting it under warranty, because the way that Epson is handling warranty, repair of the spectroproofer is a unit swap. So if your spectroproofer breaks, and it's in warranty, they just send you a new one. If your spectroproofer breaks and it's not in warranty, you have to buy a new one. So, it's not a repairable part anymore. So that's kind of a consideration from a fleet perspective. If you're managing a fleet of printers and you're looking to buy a whole new fleet, if your specters are sort of long in the tooth, we recommend at least considering, the budget outlay to buy new ones, so there's no surprises over the course of your new printer fleet's lifespan.
And, one thing I'll add too, only because we were talking about the thicker fine art papers like the cold press and the hot press, if you do have a spectroproofer installed, and if you are going to run the thicker papers, there is a tolerance for the thickness of the paper when you have the spectroproofer on. And so I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's 0.50 millimeters. So anything that is above that, and some of our thicker fine art papers are at that threshold and above, you want to take the spectroproofer off and then run that thicker paper and then put it back on. afterwards. So yeah,
Hmm.
so just make sure that if you do run those thicker papers, to take the Spectroproofer off. It's a very easy thing to do. You take it off, you unplug it, you restart the printer, and otherwise the printer is going to think that, you know, it's connected, and it's going to wonder why it's not connected. But it's a very easy thing to do, to take it on and off and run those thicker papers.
So I'll mention also that a large percentage of our clients in the fashion apparel space, they take advantage of the Epson Supply Rewards program, and to get, I put air quotes around the word, free printers via rebates. And I just wanted to confirm that these next generation printers are still eligible for Supply Rewards.
Yes, they are. No problem there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I see any more questions.
Yeah, I think the timing was good. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll note that this is being recorded, and we'll get it posted to our YouTube channel, and everyone who signed up will get notified when that's ready. So
yeah, and like I said, thank you very much for signing in today. I know time is valuable. You guys all have a lot of stuff to do, and we really appreciate you being here. And please reach out if you have any questions regarding our product. So.
Well, thank you, Marc,
thank you.
and thank you, Tony.
Be well.
All right.
All right, guys. All right.
Have a good one, everyone.
Take
All
care.
right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Have a great day.